As normalcy returns from the just concluded presidential elections, one statistic has once again refused to budge. Of the 11,366,201 voters who turned up to cast their ballots, representing a 52.5% voter turnout, 275,356 votes were declared invalid. That figure accounts for 2.42% of all votes cast. Remarkably, the invalid vote once again secured what appears to be its traditional third-place finish, comfortably ahead of several presidential contenders. It's a position the spoilt ballot has defended with consistency, having made similar showings in both the 2021 and 2016 elections. Electoral analyst Dr. Livingstone Sewanyana attributes this recurring outcome largely to gaps in civic education. He argues that while elections are routinely held, meaningful voter education has not kept pace.
The most outstanding is the lack of limited education, civic education. There has not been enough effort to sensitize the population about voter responsibility and what actually happens at the polling station. Although the Constitution made it very clear that the Electoral Commission has a duty to provide voter education, and the Human Rights Commission has a duty to provide civic education, due to unexplained reasons, quite often there is very limited effort in that direction. And in most cases, by the time we get to the election day, the population has not been sensitized adequately as to what to expect.
He further points to widespread misinterpretation of voting procedures, suggesting that many invalid votes are not acts of protest, but rather the result of confusion at the moment of decision.
But there are also instances where there has been improper interpretation of the intention of the voter. And we have cases that have come to our attention, where someone, of course, intended to vote for candidate X, put a tick and it went outside the box. And during the counting, that is declared an invalid vote. Yet, at other polling stations, that is declared a valid vote. So there is contradiction in terms of how that is interpreted depending on the presiding officer.
The Electoral Commission, for its part, acknowledges shortcomings in civic education, even as it maintains that voter sensitization exercises were conducted ahead of polling day.
We have had a generally enhanced outreach, especially among young people and the youth in universities, in secondary schools, to ensure that there is greater interest in participation and we have seen a huge number of candidates who were nominated. We had 83,000 candidates that were nominated for the 45,000 elective positions. Those are areas that have had improvements. Those are areas that are benefiting from the lessons from the past.
The Commission says the persistent trend of invalid and spoilt votes warrant deeper analysis, promising to assess the matter further before drawing definitive conclusions.
I think the issue of voter turnout and the issue of invalid ballots and the issue of spoilt ballots needs a deeper study, a careful examination, so that you actually are able to really pinpoint where the root cause is and direct your energies, and we direct our energies collectively towards addressing where those root causes might be.
Whether born of confusion, protest or tradition, one thing remains certain. Uganda's invalid vote continues to be a dependable electoral force, turning up every electoral cycle unregistered, uncontested, and impossible to ignore. David Ijo, NTV.